What's good?
All right, we're going.
Are we on?
We're not live, but this is it. Like, people are listening as we.
This is the.
People are listening.
This is the source. What's up, Justin?
Ziad, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
What?
It's been a minute, man.
How long has it been?
It's been 4 months.
I said 6 in the intro. I feel like
so he said 6. He said I'm a doctor now, which we're going to doctor school, which it's actually, well, interesting enough, law school, if you graduate, if you make it there, you're a juris doctor. So like JD, so in theory, you're still a doctor. So you were close. You were in the ballpark.
See, that's what I said. I was like, he's studying to become a doctor, but I'm not sure what kind of doctor.
Exactly. You meant a juris doctor, right? Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever ran into someone and been like, has anyone ever introduced themselves to you? Like, hi, I'm Dr. Smith.
No, never. Because it's like the biggest taboo. Supposedly. It's like, it's old school. It's like super like, I'm not talking like old school, like 50
talking
years.
Mike, sorry. There
I'm
you
not
go.
talking old school 50 years. I'm talking like old school, like hundreds of years ago. They referred to lawyers as doctors.
Really?
Yeah, it's like old English shit. Don't know if I can swear. Can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
That. Yeah.
Sponsors don't care.
Sponsors don't care?
They know that going in.
You should check out a guy named David Dobrik. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Who's that?
He is, you know Liza Koshy? I can't believe I'm doing that either.
Is he a Nova Scotia guy?
No. These are YouTubers. Okay. Let me just give you a little background.
Just like make sure you're talking to the mic.
I am.
Yeah. You're good.
Am I good? Can you tell?
See, you're on the bottom. You got to be in the yellow. So speak.
Hello?
Yeah, you're good there. It's just when you're going like this.
The yellow.
It's like when you're going like that, just like do like that.
Okay.
And then you're perfect.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
Okay, you're good.
Hopefully you don't hear me. Okay, cool. So listen, there's a guy named David Dobrik on YouTube. I'm just gonna give a really quick spiel. I'm not much of a YouTuber guy.
Okay.
But what he did is that he realized that his content wasn't gonna get that much love from sponsorship.
Okay.
So instead what he did, he's a vlogger. And instead what he did is he became super like how do you put this? He swears a lot, cusses, makes like really like.
So he's real
as hell, crazy jokes. Like, so it's him and a team of like 7 like kind of successful Viners, and they all joined on with him, and he makes like. They have what are they?
Like a team?
Yeah, he has a team. He has like a fat dude. He's got like an old guy. He's got like, there's like a midget on there. He's got like everything. And they're always making jokes about all the stuff all the time.
Okay.
And so they lost all sponsorship. So he only makes any type of money from his own merch.
I was gonna say merch,
yeah, but it's what's funny is that his girlfriend, or well, now ex-girlfriend, in the YouTube drama world, is Liza Koshy, who is like one of the biggest YouTubers in the world of YouTube. Okay. She got like interviewed by Obama and stuff and other type of shit.
I feel like I should know this.
Well, you should check it out. It's cool. I don't know. It's the YouTube culture, so it's one of those YouTube culture things. But it's absolutely hilarious. In the 4 minute 20-second videos for 420.
Oh yeah.
You know, they go on like they have like montages of them going to like Vegas and doing like drugs and drinking and popping champagne on crazy stuff. I guess the real take home story is that people love realness.
Yeah, it's an odd thing when you come to a level of success, but you have to almost hold back on the truth of what you want to say. Well, in order to make more money.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure, because like even at school right now, a lot of us feel like we can't always say what we really feel, and everyone's kind of under this general like consensus that no one should really say what they really feel.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people are scared.
It's more like, it's not as much that people are faker than they used to be. It's more that there's this general like punishment of realness now.
Yeah, and the punishment is like social justice in a way. It's almost like a debate that needs to go down if you say something that people disagree with. Right. I feel like that. I'll admit to it. Sometimes I feel like that on the podcast where I can't speak my mind. I know listeners might not like that, but there's times where I'm definitely holding back because I just don't want to have that conversation right now.
Well, like there's a general fear. So I just referred to one of the people on David Dobrik's blog as a midget. I'm not even sure if that's the politically correct term anymore. Yeah. It might be. And if it isn't, I'm sorry. And if it is, I'm happy, and if it's not, I apologize. You know, like it's one of those weird things that we are now working under the assumption of like fear, and maybe we'll get in trouble for something we said, and it was so awful. Just the other day, a girl made a joke to me. I was telling her how I play in the competitive men's league, or the competitive intramurals league.
Yeah.
And I was distinguishing that from the co-op, or the co-ed, teams.
Okay.
So she goes, oh, is it competitive because there's no women? And like, I'm not even mad at her. I don't blame her. She was just making a joke. But we're sitting there 2 weeks in, 1 week in, and we're a group of 6 of us sitting around. We don't really know each other. So I'm super like hesitant to respond. And then it got awkward. It's like, she didn't mean to make me feel awkward. She was probably just trying to joke. But at the same time,
but you don't know.
But I don't know. And not only do I not know, am I even in position to be making a gender comment? It's so gender comment. And then if I did, how did I come off? Oh man, it's crazy.
I find that interesting, that setting in a comedy store, just comedy in general. Larry David once said, one of my favorite comedians of all time.
He's the man.
He said that if you're offending someone, you're doing the right thing. Great. Like, you're getting someone's attention. If you're telling jokes and you're getting no reaction, well, you suck. But the fact that you're offending someone, the ball's on the guy in order for him to say that. He's like, if people are laughing at Curb Your Enthusiasm, that's great. But if they're getting offended, I'm doing my job. Because he's getting a reaction out of someone. And he doesn't care about the repercussion. That to me is the definition of like a real man. Just not caring, going balls in, and just fucking living life.
I couldn't agree more. Because like, part of life is like, there's the whole how we categorize each other. So like colors of a person, or gender, or age, or ableisms, or whatever these isms, the isms of the world. The
isms are growing every day.
You know, and then there is the pure who the human is. So there's just the reason I'm thinking of this, and it's similar to your example. Dave Chappelle. I was just watching some old Dave Chappelle the other day, and he was talking about when Kramer had his crazy moment at the Laugh Factory. And Dave Chappelle was like, part of me was mad at him because I was like I'm a black dude, and he made the black comment, and he's like, oh, and like now I'm mad at him because like, why are you being a racist? And then he's like, but most of me was like, man, you're really getting killed on stage. Like, you stay tough, man. Like, you stay tough out there. Like the comedian in him was siding with him. Yeah, you know, and the black man in him was kind of like, to a lesser extent, was kind of like, oh, why did you say that word? But it's interesting, you know,
he thought of himself as more of a comedian than a black person.
Correct. Yeah. So which is really more his function than what skin he was born with. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's a huge problem I think a lot of people have. It's something that, if there's one skill set that I think I have, it's not recognizing myself as anything. I am white, but if someone makes a joke about, someone calls me a cracker, in one ear out the other, I'm not going to let it affect me. I understand, like, black people, they've gone through the slavery, they have tons of things going like that, and I understand where people are upset about that 100%. But if there's one skill set that I think I've had, I can read an article in the newspaper and someone making fun of something that I'm related to, it's not going to offend me. I'm just going to keep moving forward.
100%.
Oh, I could have this conversation. Like, even talking about this right now, coming back to what we just said, like, it's a conversation that's difficult to have. Yeah, it's because we could be offending someone.
We could be offending. So anyone listening feeling offended, understand that neither I or Justin are meaning to harm anyone. We are just discussing.
And if it is offending you, you got to figure out something else out, man.
Like, you can come message us. That's my thing. That's the biggest thing with me, is that if someone offends you, go tell him. Yeah. Don't harbor it somewhere and then present the harboring elsewhere. Yeah. Because usually the person doesn't mean to offend. No. And so then another great comedian, I forget his name. He's not exactly famous or like overtly famous, but he said, to be offended, you have to take an object and take it to your offense. Like, you have to activate the offensive side of it. Yeah. Like a person can come in this room right now, Justin, and look at us and say we're doofuses because we talk into mics. Yeah. One of us could take it as offensive, and the other might not.
I'd agree. Like, yeah,
well, absolutely. You have to activate the offense. Like I can hear some, let's say, a comment about me being an Arab. I might not. I don't get offended. Yeah. But someone might, and that's fair of them to get offended. But the point is that sometimes you do have to take on the offense. Like, you have to embody being angry. Do you know what I mean?
Explain a little bit more.
I guess what I mean is that everything is two ways. Everything is two ways. That's really what I mean. Okay. And sometimes we need to go. You can't dance alone. Mm-hmm. So when someone's offended in a joke, it's because they decided to be offended that day. Okay. That's all.
Sometimes I think of myself when I'm not being offended, like, that there's something wrong with me. I'm like, why are all these people, these people getting so upset that this is happening, and I'm just sitting here. I was at a funeral the other day. Not that you can get offended at a funeral, but I wasn't crying.
Funerals just got content everywhere around.
I know, but like everyone was crying, everyone was sad, and in my head, I'm just thinking, you know, if this was my funeral, I would not want anyone crying, so I'm not gonna cry right now. I'm gonna be in that casket one day. You know, I don't feel. It's sad that it passed.
So that's kind of my point. Is it's all about the perspective taken. Now that doesn't mean that some things aren't offensive. Things are generally or can be very easily offensive.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I mean. I don't know. It's definitely rich right now because in class the first 3 weeks at Dal, it's just been correctly so, but it's been so much education on how we treated the Indigenous and the Aboriginals, and then those communities and the different communities, and then we've been recently getting into the African Nova Scotians and the Black communities, because of course they're different. There's some non-African Black communities, and how we've, you know, and we're learning just like it's almost tragic how we've treated some of those communities, and it's amazing because I'm from Halifax, you know, I'm also from Lebanon, I'm from both, but I'm also very much Haligonian, and I didn't know much of the stuff we were learning, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, why didn't I learn that in high school? Like, why am I not learning this shit in high school?
You could have, and you might not have been paying attention. That's my excuse for a lot of things. I did not pay attention.
That's a good point. I'm kind of a dork. I listen.
Yeah,
I like education. I feel like we don't really want to expose ourselves that much to it sometimes. I don't know. That's another conversation, I guess.
No, it's fine. I think exposure to it's fine. It's a learning opportunity. Anything you're exposed to, I think that's different. And like I said, when people get upset and you're exposed to it, it's different. That's one thing I'm trying to do more of.
You know, you go. Talk about exposure. They took us to the Friendship Center on Gricola.
Oh, right next to the square?
Right next to the square.
YMCA there?
Yeah. The Friendship Center for the Indigenous communities.
Yeah.
And man, shout out to those people. Those people.
Keep going. I just want to make sure.
Shout out to those people. That was quite a rich experience. We had just representatives from the community sit there and tell us funny stories, sad stories, cool stories, things you didn't know.
Yeah.
A lot of the history of what happened with the European settlers and stuff like that, and it was cool. So just saying love to those people.
Speaking of the square, I was doing street interviews today, and I was on Spring Garden Road, and you know how there's like a cab stand right there? So we're just walking by, we're asking people about the McGregor fight, who's going to win, yada, yada. And we talked to this guy, he's black. He's like, yeah, what up? I'm from the square. What up? Square Town all day. I'm like, so what are you doing out here? He goes, well, get this racist cab driver on the camera. He won't let me in because I don't have cash. And I don't know if it was because he didn't think he was going to pay or not, and he was going to run on the cab, but that just made me think of the square, and he was pissed at the cab driver. Anyways,
so that is something that's huge as well, and so now there's a lot of that discussion as well. And I'm
thinking about putting that content on the camera or not putting it on the video. You know,
then the other problem is so this comes back to the original reason I brought this conversation up is that there is this assumption that or I don't know. I ask you, Justin, do you think that people should take on being considerate?
Yeah, I think being considerate is great,
but isn't that just because you and I are two considerate people and we think that that's good for humanity? Some people just want to go to work and go home.
Yeah, but
how can races, all genders. Some people just aren't that heavily concerned with the social problems.
Yeah,
like should everyone be or should not everyone be?
Oh, sorry, considerate in that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I thought you meant in little things like holding the door open.
No. I mean in the more like the ecosystem, environment, world.
Most people aren't going to like the answer, but actually, I think some people should and some people shouldn't. I'm not the type of person that's going to fix things. I don't know if I can be that person. I'm not the person that's going to solve world problems. And I think that just comes down to knowing yourself. I know where to be considerate and not to be considerate. And I think people are considerate and it could come off just kind of looking stupid because they don't really know themselves. They can go to a rally or something and complain. And I don't know. I just think a lot of people don't know themselves when they're trying to be considerate, and it can end up looking bad. I'm having a hard time explaining myself.
I know what you're saying. That's something I saw a lot of when I was in Lebanon.
It sounds like if you want to be considerate in the term you're bringing up, you almost have to be a politician. I think you just have to know yourself.
Like I think that some people, it's about like the orientation. Like, do some people orient themselves towards the society around them, and some people orient themselves towards like just me doing me every day. And it's like I can't really get mad at someone who's very concerned with improving their own like career path or career choice, or just
I see
kind
what
of
you're saying.
fixing the world that's literally affecting them. And then it's like, can I really burden these people?
Do you want to fix it, or do you want to adjust to it?
Well, I'm a whole nother type of creature. I don't know. I like the idea of helping. Yeah, like it's a balancing act. Like some people, that's why, because I feel like I and others like me are interested in seeing an improvement in society, whereas I think I'm not mad at someone who's kind of just interested in how to get that paper, or if they're going to be on time at work, or if they can get that assignment done, or if they can I don't know, get that deal done.
That's why I like talking to you, because I don't ask myself these questions, and I like the fact that you do ask them, because I wouldn't have thought of that today or in the past month or year if you wouldn't have brought it up. If I'm considerate, if I want to help fix things. Well, I want to help fix people. I love psychology. I love helping people become happy.
Well, like, so then here's another there's a raising awareness versus getting shit done, and both are valuable in their own way, and we need both. You're someone who just gets shit done. You've been bringing people together. You've been contributing to the culture of Halifax. There's now another podcast here, and people are interested in coming on. You got some hockey players, some people like myself, some regular folk, which I'm a regular folk, and
You're a big deal.
You allow no, we're just regular folk, right? And so you allow people like us regular folk to come on and kind of expose ourselves and receive from others, and then we get to see what they're like. I would say through action you do shit. You know what I'm saying?
I guess so.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like, do you Justin need to embody more than just the behavior that you're showing? Do you know what I'm saying?
In order to be happy?
Well, I don't know. That's we're getting real philosophical here, aren't we? The high button.
Yeah, that's
the high button's getting really, really high right now.
Real high. I'd love it. You're not really. Mom's watching.
So okay, I want to tell you about something that happened yesterday.
All right.
This was
yesterday.
A boxing match.
You went to a boxing match.
That's what I'm referring to it as. It's called the Moot. So it's the Smith Shield Moot competition 2018, circa 2018.
Okay.
So what it actually is a mock trial between 4 students, 2 against 2.
Like a debate?
A debate.
Okay.
But what they do is so they chose the 4 best debating students in the law school.
Question: how do you determine these students?
So the way they get determined is that they go through their own they go through a course in the second year.
Okay.
I think that we actually kind of do a similar mock, like a very simple one in the first year.
Okay.
So then by the third year, I think that they might take another serious round, and then the teachers decide who are the best 4.
What are the categories that they're debating?
Honestly, it's anything. It's cases. So I also have the case here as well.
Okay,
so the case is really interesting as well. But so I went in, and so I played some ball growing up and stuff in the university in Lebanon and stuff. So to me as an athlete, when I hear that someone's only done something twice, it's like, how good could these people really be? You know what I mean? We always hear 10,000 hours, get in at 6 a.m. and get there again at 2 p.m. Like we've heard practice forever type shit. Yeah. So I hear that these kids have only done it 2 times, seriously, and they're about to perform in front of 2 real judges and the head of the Bar Association in Nova Scotia. So these were the 3 judges of the trial. So
this is a big deal then.
This was a real
How many people were in the audience?
The audience was probably 150, maybe probably less. 100 people.
Okay.
So the panel. So you had 2 real judges.
Okay.
Honorable Justice Cindy Bourgeois and Honorable Justice Krista Brothers.
Okay.
And then you had Mr. Frank Demont, the president of Nova Scotia's Barrister Society. So they acted as fake judges on this fake trial.
Okay.
And then you had 2 teams. You had the ones that were, they were representing the plaintiff, the person complaining, the person bringing the trial. And you had the people that were responding, defending the person. In respect to these people, Aaron McSorley and Emma Doucette, they're on the appellant, which were the plaintiffs.
Okay.
And Jeremy Ryan and Tina the rope. I just gotta give respect. So I saw some crazy shit.
I was gonna say, if you're shouting out their names, it must have been impressive.
Oh my god, man, this was out of this world. So these are 2 real judges again in the barristers president, and these 4 kids went up and they actually put on a fucking show, and they were dodging like, so what they do is they each present a subject, okay, their position on the argument.
But who creates the argument?
So the argument is created by, I guess, maybe by the faculty or by Dalhousie law. So it's just a mock trial.
Okay.
So what the question was, well, it was about midwifery.
Say that again?
Midwifery.
What's
you know
that?
Midwifery is the alternative baby delivering practice.
Alternative baby delivering practice.
Yeah. That's
what does that
most
mean?
Layman way of explaining that. Well, it just when you have birthing a child.
But alternative, what is like another person comes
instead
in?
of having a doctor, you can have a midwife, and there's educations for this. And it's, it's kind of old school. It's something you find in like villages all over the world. It's kind of like the original way that people were delivering babies.
Okay.
So they have this fake story about a midwife kind of messed the job up, and it resulted in the baby's death.
Okay.
Right. Some pretty heavy shit.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so the 2 issues were, what is the appropriate standard of care to be applied to a midwife in an emergency delivery situation?
Okay.
So if there's an emergency, what is the midwife supposed to do is the first argument.
Okay.
And then the second one was, so should the mental harm done to the father who witnessed the death of the baby, should he be reprimanded for this? Should he be, paid out the damages of his mental harm? So these are the 2 arguments. One is, how should a midwife act?
Yeah.
And second is, how should we recover the damages of the mental health of the father?
That's really cool.
Yeah, 2 very distinct. I know.
That's a really cool.
And it encompassed so much beautiful thought.
There's a lot of act of God in that argument.
Well, there's a lot of act of society and God, if you will. A lot of so much of everything. Like, for example, in the harm one, in the mental health one, it's like, what do we think about grief? This is what the question is, because he's grieving. So supposedly in Canadian society, they don't actually like to cover or compensate for grief. Why? Because grief can produce more grief. Not necessarily what happened in the death. So the death caused grief, and then if you grieve for, let's say, a year, there is an argument that within that year, the grieving you were experiencing caused more grief, not the death of the child.
I see what you're saying.
Which then no longer associates the grief with the midwife's problem, but actually just with like the man and the way he experienced grief.
Interesting.
I know, it's so interesting. And it's so interesting because it really encapsulates what's going on with mental health. How do we perceive mental health? How do we respect mental health? So you had 4 students sitting in front of 2 real judges and the third guy who might as well have been a fucking judge.
Yeah.
And they were dropping knowledge, sourcing, they were sourcing acts. They were referring to law, previous cases, because Canada is much on precedence as common law. It's how we work. And the judges were actually trying to fuck these kids up in front of us, and these kids, and this is why I say it was a boxing match, these kids were slipping punches, ducking hooks, they were dancing around the judges. It was stunning to watch.
How old were these kids?
They were all third year, so you could assume between 24 and 28.
So young still.
Plus or minus a couple. Young, very young.
Yeah.
Yes. The oldest max if was 30. I don't even know their ages. I'm just saying, these are young people. They're not lawyers. And after the judges came out, and it felt genuine, they're just like, Jesus Christ, like,
really?
You guys are going to be wicked litigators, which is that, in court lawyer.
Are these open to the public, these debates?
I can maybe.
So you try to slip me in. Try to get me a meeting.
Well, no, they only do it once a year. It's a big time thing.
I would love to see something like that.
Supposedly we had graduated from Dow.
Yeah.
She won the moot, so it's a competition.
Okay.
Everyone's rated individually, so the teams are just fake. It's actually for individuals, and it's how they performed. And so, anyways, one of the people that won once, she ended up being the first colored women on the Supreme Court of Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is a real big deal then.
Yeah, well, it's a good performance. And so I went in thinking, like, come on, like, they've only done this twice.
Yeah.
Like, sports, man. Like, you got to do shit 100 times before you don't got nerves. They were like so professional.
Yeah.
It was actually inspiring rather than
educational.
It was educational. It was more inspiring than it was intimidating.
Really?
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
It was kind of like, damn. Like, y'all are at that level?
Is being a lawyer, is some of it a performance art? Be honest.
I don't know. I don't know. You're talking, man. You know what I keep saying? Just, I keep saying, I just got here. I'm not a law student yet.
Okay.
I'm not even a law student yet. I've been there for 3 weeks. I will tell you this. I have heard that there's a lot of like there's courses, and in some of those courses you need to have a personality, and you got to know how to show. And I've heard just through the grapevine of the community that you got to be able to perform. Yeah, there's a performative aspect to it for sure. Like, for example, in this moot, this is what I'm referring to. That's what they refer to it as.
A mute?
A moot. M-O-O-T.
Okay.
I didn't know the word before.
I don't
supposedly it means like a farce or like fake, or something trivial, or you can. I think it's actually a common word in English language, I guess. I don't know.
A moot. Okay.
Yeah, someone just explain. Okay. So this is the moot trial.
Okay.
Anyway, they refer to the judges as Lady Lordship and was the Sir Lordship, and they had the garb on, and they were speaking like they were lawyers for years.
Wow.
Now think about that, Justin. They've only been there for 3 years. They're more like me than they are a lawyer.
I'm impressed.
Think about that. I know, I was impressed too. It spoke a lot more to who they are than what the education gave them. These are just talent. So maybe that answers your question. Yeah, I feel like there's kind of there is room for pure talent,
Yeah.
They always say it's a lot about how you can speak with someone. And a lot of people going in are just already have that talent with them.
Yeah, and that's a talent that some people aren't born with it. I think, but if there is a talent that you are able to obtain, I think it is that.
For sure, I agree.
It is difficult, but it's really not that difficult. I found myself, I hate to keep talking about myself, having a conversation with someone else over these podcasts in social situations, whenever there's not a microphone, my conversations, I've just learned to listen.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about what I have to say next. When you came on, right? I used to write notes or write questions down. Yeah. I got nothing. I listen. Listening are I've noticed that. And that's a skill that I've obtained over these past 6 months.
For sure. I can imagine that helps a lot. Listening and inquiring. Knowing, it's not necessarily knowing how to inquire, but like just listening and being interested in what they have to say.
Yeah.
Like blocking out your own assumptions and interests, and then just purely focusing on the person in front of you and saying, hi, whatever he says now, I'm going to at least act like I'm interested.
Yeah.
And then eventually you keep acting like it, you'll become that.
Absolutely.
Fake it till you make it. I swear it's a real thing, man.
Yeah.
Confidence is in a lot of stuff. There's confidence in shit we don't even know that there's confidence in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Confidence, all the confidence not confidence, just I guess confidence.
Yeah, like you sit there more confidently. Now you know like where you're going a bit more. You're more comfortable in the back and forths in your interviews. You're more comfortable on the court. You're more comfortable on the ice. You're more comfortable in class. You're more comfortable in love. You're more
confidence comes from consistency. If you are consistent at one thing or even a couple things, man, your confidence will go through the roof. I'm telling you.
For sure.
From the first time I did this to episode 162 or 163, I don't know what episode we're on.
Yeah.
Oh my God, light and day. The other day I was talking to a doctor and an NHL player at the same time. Both fucking millionaires,
Yeah.
Smart people. Not saying I'm not the brightest bulb in the room, but I can hold a conversation. But if I had that conversation with them at episode 5 of the High Button podcast, okay, what are we talking 100%. About? Okay.
100%.
Went in there. What's going on, fellas? What are we talking about today? All right, how's life? How, and I think that could be with anything. If you're a bad reader, if you read enough, you will become good.
100%.
Any basketball, repetition, just keep going.
I couldn't agree more. Jordan actually has something similar. He said,
Michael
Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, he's the only Jordan I ever referenced. I don't know who else we're talking about. Sorry, I guess there's a lot of Jordans in the NHL.
Yeah.
So Michael Jordan, MJ, he said there's no need to be if you are nervous for something, it means you didn't practice well enough.
You're not prepared yet.
Yeah. He said, if you're consistently prepared, you know how you are going to, with the honesty of how you prepared, you will know how you're going to perform. If you're underprepared, at least know you're underprepared and you'll feel less anxious. And if you're well prepared, with the consistency of well preparedness, you'll go in confident. Anxiety, nerves come from a lack of something, a lack of repetitions, a lack of, you know, it's kind of like getting your feet wet type of, you know, I agree completely. I couldn't agree more.
And in being consistent and working on your craft, whatever it may be, opportunities will arise. And once these opportunities arise, it's happened to me over these past 6 months. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I'm confident. I know what I'm going to say. I'm direct. Everything about the high button when it comes to sales, I'm not nervous anymore because I'm selling myself. The high button is a representation of myself.
JB.
Exactly.
JB and the HB.
So it's like, when you think about you, okay, so you want to become a lawyer right now. So you want to, you know, find clients. You want people to be happy with your product. You know, at the end of the day, you are a product. You're a business.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I keep hearing this idea. I'm only 3 weeks in, man.
Okay,
I'm looking at my textbooks. I'm trying to figure out what page I'm on.
Oh, man.
That's what I keep telling. I'm trying to figure out what page I'm on. Because I got the humility. I got the respect for the game.
Do you want to be a lawyer?
I want to be a graduate of law school.
Okay.
That's how I work, man. This is the way. Yes, of course I want to be a lawyer. I also want to be an NBA player. Look at me now.
Man, okay, fair enough.
Halifax. No, I'm just playing. I just, you know, I feel like saying that almost in a way, it's just my personal opinion here.
Go ahead.
Now you got raw Ziad in front of you, Justin.
There's nothing else to have in life than your own opinion.
I just feel like saying that I want to be a lawyer skips law school. It's like, I want to be a good law student first. You know what I'm saying?
That could be my fault though. Like, I don't really know the stages of law. Like,
no.
I think you go to school for 4 years.
I guess I'm just giving you a more honest answer. Yes, of course I want to be a lawyer.
Did you pass the bar exam to get into where you are?
No. You do this thing called the LSAT, and anyone listening who's ever done the LSAT, I feel you. It was fucking nightmare, train wreck, unpleasant, unfun.
Do you have to write the LSAT in one of those big rooms?
Yeah,
or is it a little
man.
room, big room.
And the worst part of the exam is that the content is actually interesting. Like, it's legit fun. I could show you a series of some of its content, and you would enjoy doing it. Okay. It's kind of like Sudoku-esque. It's very much. There's one portion of it that's straight up like mental games. They're called logic games, actually. Man. But the problem with the exam is that it's 27 minutes per section, and you have 25 questions per section.
Whoa. Say that again.
Yeah, so you got 5 sections.
5 sections.
Sorry, is it 27 minutes? It's like 32 minutes a section.
5 sections, 32 minutes a second.
Yeah, something like that. I might be wrong.
And then if you don't finish the section, you're fucked.
Oh, you're essentially fucked. But it's not just that. It's 32 minutes a section and 26 questions a section. Plus or minus numbers here, people. I'm not part of the LSAT.
I hate that stuff because then at the back of your head, time's
ticking. No. The whole thing is time. And I'm a slow thinker. I'm a pensive guy. I'm deliberative. I like to,
that's no good.
I like to lay out my shit.
Yeah.
It's all about how well you can sprint through your logic. It's very it's very much poorly testing anything. It's how much you know the LSAT. It's not how smart are you, how good's your logic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
A little bit.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
I can see a lot of people failing at that due to the time factor.
Straight the fuck up.
Because you can't even think. You got the time in the back of your head. Fuck, I gotta get out of here. It's gotta finish it up.
All right, last note I want to say about the moot.
The moot.
Was you had 4 contestants. Or, whatever. Yeah. Advocates, as they refer to them as. And
advocates.
You had 3 women.
Love it.
Loving it, man.
Love women.
Love it. And people say that's backwards sexism. It's like, I don't know what it is, but I love seeing there's 3 women. That means that out of the 3rd year grade, the 3 top mooters were 3 women. And the 2 that won the first place were women. And I was like, you know what, man? Can I tell you something? Another pity of mine. And this might seem like backward sexism, but it's no, I believe in equality and everyone's good stuff, whatever. I feel like those that are oppressed create the most pure, refined skill sets. You know what I mean?
What does oppressed mean again?
Oppressed is kind of like, that's a good point. I guess that word isn't.
I'm not afraid to ask if I don't know what
No.
There's a lot of words I don't know.
It just means like, biased against, or like lack of privileges, or like I guess like lack of respect.
Okay.
You know, you could almost say like bad athletes are oppressed in sports. You know, because a bad athlete doesn't really ever make it. Every once in a while they might. You know, like Nash. Look at Nash. He wasn't the greatest athlete, but he made it through the NBA. You know, whatever. Yeah. So anyways, women have been, marginalized in communities. I feel now, man, for that long, we brood a talent in a gender, and they're coming. Like they're sharp, they're brilliant, they're also like,
that's what I've said about Hillary.
They're ready to go, man.
Yeah.
Like you could, you see it, like in law school, the women are the sharpest, man. I've always just kind of had this sense.
And when Hillary Clinton's trying to run for the president of the United States, I'm like, there's a lot better women out there than her. Like with the emails, there's a lot of great women out there. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, but then you get into politics, and politics is all just fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. I guess
politics are like a whole nother weird. Chance the Rapper, my guy Chance, he said, they asked him, would you, and shout out, he just dropped $1 million for the mental health awareness in Chicago.
I bet you he gets a statue in his hometown before he dies.
They love him. Yeah, 100%. 100%. They love him right now. And they should. He has a whole education thing going on. He's pushing for so much different shit. He has a whole award system now for teachers. I don't know if you've ever heard of this.
No.
He has this, he thinks that we should be awarding academia, which I mess with big time. I love it.
Like scholarships?
One scholarships, but it's actually like he's like, why do we have Grammys and Emmys and that type of shit?
Agreed.
We should have the best teachers in the state.
Agreed.
So I think he's trying, I don't know if it's full on yet, but he's trying to have an award show for the best rated teachers in the state of Illinois.
That's the smartest thing ever.
I know. Or something of that, plus or minus some details, but that's and so they asked him, they're like, do you want to be a politician? Because his father was a politician.
Okay.
His father worked with the mayor of Chicago, and he said, politics doesn't get anything done. I want to be a legislator. The legislation of any North American area, city, state, province, whatever, is what gets shit done.
Yeah.
And I take that to heart, man. And I'm learning it now in school. That's definitely something I guess I've acquired, is learning about the legislation of Canada. And that's where shit gets done, man. Of course, the provincial legislation as well. But I mean, legislation is where it's at.
Okay.
The courts and legislation. Politics is good.
It's a popularity contest.
It's a popularity contest in a good way. Like, there's good people running. I'm not hating. I'm just saying it's more of a show. It is a show. God damn it, it's a show. Yeah. It's a performance. Yeah. God damn, it's a performance.
I remember once when Obama was running against Hillary, Michelle, Obama's wife, was like, obviously, like, Hillary, she's not that good, like, yada, yada, yada. And then when she was running against Trump, she was promoting Hillary. Like, oh, I love Hillary.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, whoa, wait a second here. You're contradicting.
Or like when I was in high school, I was in grade 10 when it was happening, they were always telling us, look how well Obama speaks. And that's cool, right? And he did really speak quite well. And they always said he never used it. He never says I feel. He supposedly, this guy just goes, right? And that's what they describe him. But like, why does that matter? You're supposed to be here to like improve a country. Yeah. Why is one of the best features of Obama, and I was quite pro-Obama, why is one of the top features that he speaks well?
Yeah, you're saying Stephen King couldn't be president because he's in a wheelchair and speaks from a computer?
Yeah,
but he's,
You mean Stephen Hawking?
Stephen Hawking, sorry. See what I mean? Not good with words.
No, it's cool. I always say I got the worst recall.
What did I say, Stephen Hawking?
You said Stephen King. Stephen King, the author. The guy who wrote like horror stories.
Oh yeah, the guy that wrote It.
He could be. Yeah, he wouldn't be a good presidential candidate either. You're right. You're still right in the general. Just
scaring the shit out of people.
Both Stephen Hawking and Stephen King wouldn't do much work in the presidency. But
most people wouldn't have corrected me. They just would have went on with it. So thank you for correcting me.
Oh, you're my man. Like, it's funny. I do shit like that all the time.
How was Lebanon, man?
Lebanon. Isn't
that where you were?
Yeah. So when I first left, it's funny really what happened. I first came back from Lebanon over Christmas, and it was a long time ago now. Jesus, we're almost like a year away from that.
Oh man, I love Christmas.
So the last Christmas, I go back to work. Feel like I got squeezed out unprofessionally by my boss.
Who's your boss?
Which was ugly. I don't want to do that because she's a nice gal, but it wasn't good. Okay. And so then I felt like I got squeezed out, and then so I quit. Right. And then I felt like, I'm happy I'm quitting. Like, oh shit, what am I going to do now? And then a week later, my cousin messaged me, do you want to go to China for work? And I was like, what? He's I'm going to China in in the beginning of the summer. like in a month or something.
I love spontaneous travel events. Yeah.
And he was like, do you want to come? And I was like, fuck yeah. I just essentially quit my job.
That's how life works.
So then I go to China with him, and I spent 3 weeks there. The first week and a half it's kind of like a business trip. It was kind of more like learn about some shit, more serious shit. We went to Guangzhou, which is in the south on top of Hong Kong.
Okay.
That was amazing.
Wow.
That was China, man.
I got to get there.
China is the coolest. Now people are like, oh, human rights, all this other stuff. Yes, okay, fine. I'm not like, this,
the sweatshop?
Who knows, man? There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. It's not a simple world. Not everywhere is Halifax, okay?
Back to square one. I can't fix problems. I just want to fix people. Just be happy,
and see stuff. Exactly. So whatever. So I went to China for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Then I went to Vietnam for 3 weeks with my boy from Lebanon.
Yeah.
He came and met me there. And then we went.
By the way, whenever you hear sorry to interrupt. Whenever you hear Vietnam, do you think of the war automatically? Still? I automatically do.
Really?
Yeah. Do you?
You should. I'm happy you do. It should be called the American War. They call it the American War.
Do they?
And it should be called the American War because they went there.
Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, keep going.
We're getting into history now. We're getting into history.
No, we're not going into that.
We could get into history.
No, I don't want to.
I don't know. When I think of Vietnam, I actually don't know why. I think of I don't even know what I think.
Vietnamese food,
maybe
banh mi.
Yeah, banh mi's nice. Have you been? Have you been to Vietnam?
No. But I've been to Indochine on South Park Street. Great banh mi.
It's cheaper than a ticket to Vietnam. I'll tell you that much. Oh God. Is it good food?
Indochine, no, it's great food, great soups, great subs,
all right.
great barbecue chicken.
Shout out to Indochine, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
they're not paying us. Don't say that.
Okay.
Whatever. Fine, I'll give them some free shit.
Well, I mean, hey, whatever, whatever. You don't go there.
No, yeah.
Don't go there.
Their food sucks.
Right. No. So Vietnam is. I don't know what I think of, man. I don't know. It's one of those blurry things in my mind. I think of now. I think of nature.
Oh yeah.
Because they got crazy nature. I before that, I honestly maybe the war. I guess Oliver Stone. Maybe that's really my biggest education on Vietnam came from his documentary. But I think nature, man. They got crazy nature. Yeah,
I didn't see. Man.
Well, that's a thing they got there. They got from north to south. They cover all different types of geography. They got rice fields, and they got mountains, and they got forests, and they got beaches.
Wow,
one of those type of nations.
Is it commercialized? Is there a lot of McDonald's and Coca-Cola?
It's not as much commercialized as I felt like it was touricized.
I'd rather it be commercialized than tourized.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad. They were so hospitable. They were so friendly. They were so nice. They were so much superlative when it comes to hospitality. Good food and good weather and nice. Really But I just felt like every time you got to a city, there was a path.
What do you mean?
They were ready for foreigners. Yeah. It wasn't one of those places China isn't like that. China, or at least Guangzhou, I guess, because China's massive and I only went to one city for 3 weeks. But the city I went, you go and you're kind of you got to figure it out yourself. When you go to a lot of their cities in Vietnam, they're ready to help you.
Yeah.
Which, depending on what type of traveler you are, it matters. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't like being super touristy. I don't like being super I'm sleeping in tents on the side of highways because I'm anti-hostels or something. I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
There's a feeling there that it's kind of look at all these amazing locations you can go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anthony Bourdain said it was one of his favorite places to go to.
Hey man, I agree. I can imagine the food's amazing. The people, I know, honestly, all positives. All positives.
Did you get a soup bowl, a nom bowl?
Yeah. God,
that's where Anthony Bourdain's interview was with Barack Obama. Again? Was in Vietnam.
I'm forgetting it. Pho.
We can call it pho.
Yeah, I guess it's pronounced pho, but it doesn't really matter, man.
It's pho.
No, did you like to eat it? Did you eat the food? If you mispronounce it, doesn't matter. Did you like the food?
Food's great.
You know what I'm saying? Have you ever had pho?
Yeah, my mom makes it sometimes. It's not the same, but I've had it. Yeah,
it's probably not the same.
Clayton Park, Nova Scotia pho.
Oh, God, that's funny. And then, so then I was there for 3 weeks, and then I went to Lebanon. Saw my woman, Zina Brahim. Shout out. I'm shouting out people. Actually. Is that okay, Justin? I just feel comfortable, man. I feel like I'm hanging out.
Shout out. Oh, man. Shout out away. Go ahead.
Shout out Mac Miller.
Oh man,
love for you, brother.
Here's the one here I found out. I swear I was listening to one of his songs, like, oh yeah, the song where he's in the coffin box or the box.
Oh, Self-Care.
And he's going, I got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
But now I'm just chilling.
Oh,
and that line stuck to me. I was like, you know what? I'm 26. I got all the time in the world. Like, just relax. Like, don't be. And then the next day, Mac Miller's dead. I'm like, he did not have all the time in the world. It just hit me.
I got 2 things to say.
Go ahead.
First of all, I got so many things to say. Well, I always got so much shit to say. First of all, that was an accident. That wasn't a suicide. That man was looking to be better, and his music was very much like, I want to live, I want to be old. Like, and it's sad and it's scary now when you go back through his music, which I do often. He's always saying shit like, I wanted to be old. I wanted to have grandkids. I wanted to get over stuff. I wanted to be drinking coffee forever. Shit like that. Like, he was actually very much into getting better. You know, he had a lot of lyrics about no more touching coke and no more of this, and of course mental health and addiction, and that shit is real, man. And so, one, I want to say that was a mistake, and that's why it's so tragic. Death is always tragic, but this is because he was actually trying to improve, and I swear he must have died by accident. That's what I feel. Did
you see that live performance he did on? He was like in a office. It looked like the orange hat.
NPR, man, NPR,
and he looked great. His skin looked good. He looked healthy.
Bro,
he looked
that
happy.
was an amazing album.
And that was like a month maybe before he died. He did that.
Do you know what NPR is?
Well, no, I do. I didn't know what it was before.
Yeah, the NPR is a very cool, this like, I don't even say it's alternative. It's just like this like quasi performance, I guess. And like artists go and they like in front of like 30 people, they perform in this like cubicle. Acoustic. Chance the Rapper has one, and No Name Gypsy has one. Well, No Name now, I guess, has one, and Anderson .Paak has one. T-Pain has one. Did you see T-Pain's?
How weird is that? I was thinking T-Pain, and I didn't. You said it. Like the moment you said T-Pain.
Justin, you're always trying to make things magical. Justin.
I'm not. It's the high button magic, baby. I'm telling you.
HB.
But no, I didn't know anything about it until I saw Mac Miller's, and then when I saw Mac Miller's, I just kept going through his song 2009.
Oh God, what a lyric! What lyrics! Oh, I think I like the one on NPR better than the thing on the album. I like the beat was different than the live performance on the album. I think, and I had it on repeat. That's also an interesting idea.
Just essentially talking about when he first got into the music business to where he is now.
I know, and he knows what's behind the door. It's not 2009 anymore. Yeah. Oh my God! Because think about our own lives, Justin. Like, it's not 2011 anymore. I know what it's like after having a degree. Yeah. I know what it's like after having a serious job. I know it's like
it's not 2009 no more.
Oh God, I know man. What's behind that. So that guy, I'm not sure if you know this or hold this or think this or whatever, but that guy is, I say, the most just creative writer in rap. He paints images, man. Psychedelic, tangential ideas with colors and weird objects playing with other objects, defying physics. Like, he doesn't like. So Kendrick is kind of like a social writer, big time, like reflecting on social problems, and we need him. And Drake is very much this like, let's bring people together, fun, often can be deep, but mostly just let's have a good time guy. Yeah, you know, and that's great too. And he's both highly. Mac Miller is the most creative writer. He's got this album called Faces, and he writes in a way that's just tangenting from this idea to this idea to this idea, all using like weird verbs, using weird objects, I'm big into like fiction, as you know, and we discussed on the first podcast, Hemingway and etc. But so like as a reader of fiction, Mac Miller like satisfies me. Wow. That's the guy. That's the guy. He doesn't paint necessarily large images. He's not much of a plot writer. Yeah. He'll give you like 2-sentence short story. You know what I mean? That, yeah. He'll give you a short story in 6 words. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
He's that type of rapper. And that's a rare, very rare place to be in. I don't know many rappers like that.
Because with certain words, it can bring up a whole paragraph in your mind.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Very image-based. Yeah. Very creative writing based.
Have you seen the movie Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot?
No.
I'm not going to go any further. Watch that movie.
don't worry, he won't get far on foot.
Jonah Hill, Nokeem Phoenix. It was directed and written by Gus Van Sant. Came out last week, but it's on the internet, so you can illegally download it now. Not that I did that, sorry, but you can get it now. Anyways,
no, that's against the law.
Sorry.
How dareth you be of
iTunes
of 2018.
Anyways, I'm not going to say anything else, but just watch that movie and what you just described with Mac Miller.
That's something that, and so then that's one huge portion of his music. And then I'm sorry I'm doing this. That's my guy, man. And then he also is just so soulful.
Oh yeah.
SZA said it best. SZA's this up and coming female rapper female artist. She does more than just rap.
SZA, right?
SZA. Yeah. You've definitely seen her. She got famous recently, and she blew up big recently. Anyway, she describes Mac Miller perfectly. She says that is a jazz artist who can rap. Ooh. And that's the truth.
What's your favorite album by him?
Oh God. Favorite album?
Yeah.
Man, the new one is good.
Yeah, it's great.
What's it called again? Ladders? No, what the fuck is it called?
It looks like an eardrum in the background.
This is the problem. I got horrible recall, people. I'm gonna get my phone out real quick. I'm just going through it. Just give me a sec here.
What's the song with him and Kendrick Lamar?
Mac Miller. Okay, so Divine Feminine is nice. Swimming.
Love that song.
Yeah, well, Swimming is the name of the album.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Swimming's the name of the album. Good stuff.
Red Dot Music is a good one. Who's that with?
That's with Action Bronson on Watching Movies with the Sound Off. What a that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The name of the album is Watching Movies with the Sound Off. There's a message. That is no, but it's also such a jam-packed image. You're now sitting in a room. You're imagining it dark. Because what are you interested in the movie? Is the visuals now? Because the sound is off.
Well, isn't that what you do when you get high? Like on drugs, you just have an image in the room without any sound. Isn't that?
No.
I thought that's where I thought it came from. Watching television with the sound off, because then you can get ideas from the television, and then your room just trips into a.
Really?
He always used to say that. He's like, I used to get so bored. I have nothing to do, so I can have an adventure in this room right now.
Yes.
I could be wrong, but
no. I could see that being like a pop.
Think about it, you're sitting
practice,
here.
pop practice like that. But yeah, so that's my guy. And obviously he bangs. He got raps. So Good AM.
What's AM? Good AM. What's that?
GOODAM.
Is that an album?
It's an album. A white background with him screaming. He's got a song on there called 100 Grandkids.
Okay.
He takes the beat from P. Diddy's Bad Boys.
We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
That is a fire song. Anyway, yes, exactly. Yeah. Mac Miller raps on that for 6 minutes, and he slices and dices and creates and oh man, he paints. That man paints. Mac Miller paints. That's the shit he does. I fucking love Mac Miller.
I gotta go back and have a listening day. Just a day where I listen to him all day.
Yeah. Okay,
I gotta go back. So you gotta recommend some songs.
Okay, you gotta check out Faces. That's the album that's very creative, and it's probably his most like acclaimed. People really like that one a lot.
Is that the one where he's naked sitting at a
naked sitting?
He's sitting naked with the red in the back at a desk.
No, that is Watching Movies with the Sound Off.
Movie with the sound off. Okay.
No, this one is this one has a yellow background thing. It actually, I just realized this the other day. It actually has whatever. It's for those that like art out there. It's like completely similar to some famous artist's style of painting. Okay. It's quite artistic, and that's the thing about the album is that's exactly it. Like if you look at the cover of Faces,
let me see. Can you?
If you look at the cover of Faces, now I'm passing.
I see.
Okay, cool. So it's very much like colors and shapes and images. And if I just read you the names of the songs, like he's got one called he's got one called Diablo, San Francisco.
Diablo, great song.
Diablo's great. Colors and Shapes. He's got one called Rain. He's got one called Thumbelina. Grand Finale. Oh man, that's my guy. I can't believe he's gone. I can't believe it.
What'd you do when you found? Where were you when you found out he passed?
Oh man, my sister called me. So I'm like, as clearly why Justin likes to bring me on this. I got a mouth and I know how to use it. And so one of the things that I usually talk about is hip hop and rap,
of course.
And so I always preach Mac Miller's name. I had this whole article I wanted to write about him. And
do you ever see him live?
No.
No, man. I'm sorry to bring that up.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. But what was I gonna say? Oh, my sister called me. So amongst like my close friends and the people I debate this shit with, they know that I preach him forever for like the last 4 or 5 years. And my sister called me. I was driving.
Where are you?
On Inglis. Driving on Inglis. Sister calls me. Are you crying yet? And I was like, why? No, like what? Like what now?
Were you having a bad day?
No. I was just kind of just
now?
fresh. Law school just started, so I'm like 3-4 days in, kind of all like
chapter 1.
Yeah, you're all like fucking. You're trying to figure out what the chapter's saying. That's how you read a book. The first few pages, you're always lost because they're bringing you into a new world, right? And so I'm just kind of like lost everyone was lost that first week. And she's like, Mac Miller died, and she said it to me like I already had heard it. You know, she said it to me like I knew, and I took it like, you know, I was like, what? She's like, yeah, Mac Miller died. And I was like, no, you're lying. And then I screamed a little. I was like, shut the, like I kind of yelled because that's my guy. I feel like he was my friend. And then, you know, and then I, for the next few days, I was like properly like down and it was hard because I had to go to school and stuff and like talk to people and like, and they're like, and then like when Mac Miller would come up, I was like, y'all don't get it. That man's in my heart. And then when I found out that like the Ariana Grande thing, it was just fucked up, man. It was a shame what happened to her and the whole story. That's what's crazy about it. It's really like, it's a really sad story. But
yeah, the industry that he's in, man, it's not good for.
No. It's not good for mental. Well, that's the thing, right? Is he's lonely. Think about that. Mac Miller, one of the greatest rappers ever, at least of our generation.
Opened the door for a lot of people. When I heard Chance the Rapper tweet out, man, he brought me on tour for my first time, I was like, wait a second. That just clicked. Mac Miller brought Chance the Rapper.
SZA talks about it, and Schoolboy Q talks about it.
He put people on.
All talk about how much he put people on. Think about it. The guy was 26. He's been rapping for 6 years.
Yeah.
Like big time for 6 years.
Yeah.
7 years. He has like 5 albums.
Yeah.
Think about that. This guy's like prolific. Yeah, I always say he's the white Wheezy. Now people don't like my.
Have you listened to his album yet? Carter 5?
Yeah, I did. I like it.
It was good.
It's good.
Last song in the album I love.
Which one?
Let It All Work Out.
Oh man, yeah.
Let It All. That's my shower song right now.
Yeah, my guy Marcus at school has been. He and I were jamming. That's a good song. Yeah, man, Mac Miller people on. I don't know. Anyways, it's a lot to say about Mac.
Lost a lot of good people this year. Anthony Bourdain was my guy.
I know.
I loved the way he described food. I loved the way how he traveled, how he was able to interact with other people in and around the world and make people feel comfortable. Imagine going to a foreign country yourself and in a village. You know, you're a little uneasy, but he was able to make people open their doors up and allow cameras in. That's a tough thing to do.
You're right, man. He really did help, I guess, cultures. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, because it's just so grandiose of a statement. But I mean, like, he was good for culture. He was good for people to be like, oh, I can go to that country.
Yeah.
You know?
Do this.
I can go there.
I admire people that are able to make other people feel comfortable within the first 30 seconds of a conversation. Sure. You know who's very good at that?
Who?
Sacha Baron Cohen, the guy that puts on those performances.
Have you seen his new show?
What, Made in America?
Or, or whatever.
This is America.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, of course. Like,
it's crazy.
I admire what he does. I'm a fan of the show, sure, but what I'm more a fan of is how he gets people so comfortable with him.
Yeah.
Could you right now go to Texas and get a politician to pull down their pants and move backwards toward you and say, "Stop it, you homo"? Like,
no.
that is a skill set that I admire, to make someone feel so comfortable to fucking do that.
Yeah,
like,
he's manipulative.
He's very manipulative.
You know what?
Like, could you? I just fuck.
Yeah, I like it. You know what I like about that, Justin, is the attention to detail, Justin. That's why. No, but you observing that.
Yes,
you know,
of course.
it's good to.
Yeah.
You know, it's some people get lost in the picture and they don't realize the finer building blocks of the person's strength.
Of course.
You know, and anyways, that's just a little thing I like about that. I'm a big
behind the scenes guy.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you completely. Like, he has the ability to get people to say shit and get in position through making them comfortable, which is very manipulative of him. But that's all right.
But manipulative doesn't have to be a
bad thing unless it's used for bad reasons.
Yes.
Correct.
You could be manipulative to try to get into someone's, like Anthony Bourdain was, you could say he was a little bit manipulative to get into an Indian village or a hut and be like, can you make me some curry?
Right.
I'm going to bring the cameras in and we're just going to have a conversation, please. And it's an aura. You have to have
I know it's funny. You're so right. It's about There's like a neutral.
Yeah.
There's a neutral idea, which is like the lubrication of society, or lubrication of a social moment.
I see what you're saying.
And then there's the negative, which is manipulation, and then there's the positive, which would be like, I don't know, being like amicable. You know, that's like Anthony Bourdain is amicable. He can go to anybody.
I want to be more amicable.
Yeah, amicable. I think it comes from amitié, which just means like friendliness in French. I think that word, like friendliness, essentially friendliness, ability to get in with people well and with in a respectful way. Louis Theroux. Have you ever seen Louis Theroux? Of course.
Okay,
why would I say such a thing?
This guy,
Justin here.
This guy goes to a Miami County jail, maximum fucking security, talking to rapists, murderers. Fucking,
he's like a little nerdy
the worst of the worst,
dude.
He'll go in,
glasses, like button-up shirts.
He'll go
in the high button.
He'll go into the jail, into the fucking cell with the inmate.
I know, and they respect him,
and just be like, "So why'd you do it?"
Yeah. I know, it's weird.
And they will go to him.
It's weird,
and tell like this stranger.
I know.
This is why I did it. I'm sorry, but I'm moving past it. Look at my books. I'm reading. I'm trying to improve. Oh, well, what are you reading? Tell me a little bit more. That guy,
or I haven't even watched it, to be honest. I'm not gonna say that, but the one with I watched that episode actually, but the one where he goes to Chicago. Because he goes to what they refer to as Chirac or whatever.
Yeah.
How is he getting in there? How is he hanging?
Watch the Philadelphia one too.
Okay.
Philadelphia.
How is he getting in there? It's crazy. You're so right.
He goes on the corner with a bunch of people and he's like, "Hey, so someone got shot here last week, eh?" And everyone's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, do you know who did it?" And he goes, "What kind of question is that? I'm not answering that." He goes, "Well, why wouldn't?" Like, just having fucking conversations with these kids.
It's insane.
I could talk forever. He went to a Nazi's house in Alabama and they were just like, "You're Jewish right now, aren't you?" to Louis. And Louis like, "I'd prefer not to say it." And he goes, "Well, listen, I'm proud to be a Nazi. I'm here. I opened up my door to you and I told you who I am. I told you who my family is. I want to know right now, are you fucking Jewish?" And he's just like, "Can we just continue like with our conversation? Why does it matter if I'm Jewish or not Jewish? I just want to get to know you." And somehow, some way, he was able to make that Nazi family calm down and still welcome him and eat with him and have a beer with him. And like, it's I don't know how he's able to do it, but I'm fascinated by those things.
That's an amazing story, because it also says a lot about condemning one another even when we hold bad traits. Like he must believe that there's goodness in even though they hold racist positions, and he's showing that like that's not the end of someone. Like you can actually get people like, I don't know. I remember just, in my degree, and we learned about it, and I've read about it. Like they say the best way to approach racism is to not be mad at it. If you get mad at a racist, all that's going to do is make them more racist and alienate you further from helping them. Like you got to work with them.
I think that's a message that Kanye is trying to preach right now.
It is the message, and I'm a huge Kanye guy, and I was a big, everything he was doing before. I think he's kind of overkilling it now.
A little. But I think that's the message.
He's stank face. I'm just come on, man. You're making it hard.
Yeah.
I was pro it. I was pro some of his crazy shit he was saying, because it's he's just making us think. He's think fearlessly. Yeah. I like that. I love that culture.
But that comes back to my point where it's I don't know if I can change people. I don't know if I can change a society, but I can try to change people. I think he's trying to change a society, and it's just an uphill battle that will not work. And
and he's doing it in. I think he can editorialize now. I think he can come out and be like, "Listen, y'all, I know the hat's bad, and I'm saying the things about that he did about American slavery is bad." But he's like, all I'm trying to do. Yeah. But he doesn't really come out and explain himself, sort of. You know what I mean?
He's not. Yeah, he's not the best at it.
Yeah, which I know.
He's not.
I can see the intention is there, but I don't know, man. It's crazy. He's a crazy case. So last thing I want to say about Mac Miller before he completely evaporates from our route here. But so the moment I realized that Mac Miller is actually this superstar talent, must be respected in the rap game, is when. Do you remember when Kendrick Lamar dropped that?
I was just gonna bring that up.
The Kendrick Lamar dropped that verse. Do you remember that verse he dropped? The control verse.
Mac Miller was the last name.
You're my man. Mac Miller was the last name. He dropped Jay Electronica, Drake, and J. Cole. He wants to see all these fans. Oh, it's all this shit. And the last name was Mac Miller in a time when Mac Miller wasn't really what I even thought he was now. He was just still kind of growing his like brand, label, career, whatever, his portfolio, if you will. And Kendrick is one of the only rappers who's always on his shit. You know, like Chance loves him. They never had a song together. Or maybe they don't, because I'm a huge Chance guy. I don't think they do. They don't, like, you know, and so and Schoolboy Q's all over them. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because that's like Kendrick called it, you know, Kung Fu Kenny called it early. So anyways, I don't know, sorry to divert back to
no, man. What's your timeline like right now?
I'm supposed to go get a suit.
A suit? You getting married?
Someone's getting married. Someone's always getting married.
I was going to say Lebanese culture, man.
Oh my God.
It's a cousin, it's an uncle.
They love marriages. Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah,
it's like a special party. Like they just...
Food, liquor, suits.
We lock into relationships.
Hair gel.
Like we're big contractual relationship people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're big in the like, all right, we're dating for a long time now. And we're going it with it. We might as well get married while we're at it. Good excuse to party, drink, eat well. Host people.
I've never been to a wedding.
Never been to a wedding?
No.
You're kidding.
No, got a small family. Friends aren't at that. My first one will be in August. Kevin Powers is getting married.
Okay, cool.
So first one will be in August, but no, never been.
I can't believe that.
When I was younger, I had such...
You're such a wedding guy. You'd be such a wedding crasher.
We'll see how it goes. I am single, so we'll see how it goes. When I was younger, I had the biggest desire to go to these weddings. It's like, but honestly, the reason why was just to drink and meet some women.
Well, hey, I mean, that's what you do at weddings.
But now that I'm older, I'm just like, not that I'm happy to go to Kev's wedding. Like I'm excited for it. I still have never been to one, but as you get older, the more I'm just such a homebody. I just want to stay home. You know?
I know what you mean. You know, like
I used to want to go to events.
You know, Justin, we gotta like kick that.
What do you mean?
I think that Joe Rogan, wow, I'm channeling my Joe Rogan, but we gotta be, because Joe Rogan always preaches this.
What does he preach?
Oh, he's always like, we're all lazy. You know, we all like gaming. We all like sitting at home watching movies with someone or even without someone. He's like, but you gotta fucking go. You gotta get your fucking ass up. Get your ass to the gym. Get your ass to class. Get your ass to talking to other people. You know, it's good to be, I know it's so fucking cliche. It's good to be uncomfortable. Like, like it's, I don't know, like I was sitting at my house at long day of class, long week, you know, and I was gaming a little. I was like, should I flake on the high button? I was like, of course not. Like,
you were gonna flake on us?
Well, no. But it's just the no, of course not. And that's why I'm here with the energy and happy to do it.
Love it.
But I'm just saying, there's this minute lazy person in all of us.
Yeah.
And it fills a lot of our interests and beliefs, and it's the reason we don't get a lot of shit done. And you know, and I just think that we all got to kick it. And so, like, next time we're doing the high button in my basement.
So I gotta move all this shit in your basement.
I'm just joking. No.
Where are you living at right now? Are you downtown?
Back home, downtown.
Can I get a lift on the way? I'm going to the Forum.
Well,
I'm going to Alex Afaris'
Is this how we're ending the podcast?
No, we don't have, man, trust me, we don't. I could talk to you for another hour.
Quick little, hitch a ride. You want to hitch a ride?
That's the only reason why you're here, to be quite honest. I just need a ride.
We call this consideration. I learned this the other day. So consideration, the word. Sorry to get back on the nerd, right? So
go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. So is this a barter system?
Yeah, essentially, you come on here, you get to preach for free, and
this is actually just a drive, eh?
Wherever I need to go, because let's say I need to go to East Ants, I'll call someone in from East Ants. Hey, do you want to come on the podcast? Give me a lift out there.
The drive costs an hour and a half on a podcast. I like
That's how I'm doing, man.
It's called consideration. Yes, in the legal sense, it's you do a service for a performance. Or you pay value for a performance. So the value is being an hour on a great podcast. That's the value. And the performance is I drive your ass somewhere.
That sounds like some hippie trading shit, like at the market. Like, I'll give you some apples, you give me some oranges.
Some old school like barter shit. Like you trade a cow for like hay or something.
Yeah. I like it as long as it pays my rent.
Yeah. Well, respect to the high button.
You got anything else?
No, I guess that's it, man.
What are you doing tonight? After your suit?
Oh no! Oh, before we're done.
Oh boy.
McGregor or Khabib.
Did I tell you today I was out doing that? And I was asking people.
Were you? Well, I'm asking you now, buddy.
Oh, there we go.
Who do you got?
My heart is telling me Khabib. And but I do think, but I want to say, sorry, McGregor. So I think Khabib is gonna win, but I want McGregor to win. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think Khabib is gonna win.
You're convinced Khabib's gonna win, but you hope McGregor wins.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen McGregor when he loses. His body, what his body looks like. I find his arms a little bit too. I don't know. I just, you know how you just have a feeling.
Some anatomy, eh?
I got a feeling.
Anatomical analyses over here.
Yeah, the words you drop on me, man. Like, I was watching our podcast that we did last time, and I was like,
stupid.
I was like, you make me look like a fucking monkey.
No,
like
I'm
you're
a
not.
Stupid person. I shouldn't use words longer than like 2 syllables. My brother would be so mad at me right now.
Maybe that's actually, no, I was going to say, maybe if you're dumb and you just use big words, you can come off as smart. Honestly, if I came in a conversation with you and you use big words with me, you do, I think you're smart.
I hope I don't. God, I hate hearing
you
that.
do, man.
God damn it.
You probably said at least 3 words.
With 4 syllabi.
Yeah, and then I was just like,
accent. God, I hate that. You know why I especially hate that?
Why?
I guess we'll go off on this point. But George Orwell wrote this amazing essay called Politics and the English Language.
Okay.
And essentially, a lot of the good points, it's only 10 pages. It's a free PDF. It's online if anyone wants to read it. It's really simple too.
Okay.
He just kind of essentially criticizes trying to sound smart. George Orwell, like one of the most famous writers, came after World War II. He just essentially says we should use words that don't have a Latin origin. What does that mean? So things like when I said what did I say to you? I said anatomical, or like anything with a T-I-O-N, shin, like nation or substantial, or any of these like shin, like these words that sound scientific. He says that they don't actually express humanity. You know what it does? Germanic words, he says, like bump, stump, stop, giggle,
simple word.
Rubber. It doesn't have anything other than rubber. It doesn't have a background word.
It's just a thing.
Like anatomical comes from anatomy, which comes from fucking, I don't know, some stupid theory on the body. So it requires too much like background to know what the word means. But bump in rubber and goose,
it's just a thing.
It's just a thing. And he says that those words are best for expression.
Man, people are just out here talking anyways. You know what you do? Go to Starbucks and over listen to a conversation, man. People are just talking for the point of talking.
I love Starbucks. I'm basic.
Yeah.
I love Starbucks.
Let's wrap it up, man.
Okay,
we gotta get going here.
I've plugged too many places. You might be getting some sponsorships coming through your way.
No, I don't know after this one. Jesus, man. I think they're all over now.
Don't go to Indochina. What's that place called?
Indochine. Yeah, don't go there. Don't go get the banh mi with the faux soup.
Just JK. Anyways, this is fun.
Ziad, you're the man.
Thanks, Jay.
So you're going to be in Halifax for the next 4 years going to
baby.
Love it.
See you around.
That's good news for the high button.
See you soon. Hopefully I'm on that video. I want to be on one of your Instagram posts, man.
Yeah. Well, we're out there every day, so we'll run into you eventually.
Okay, cool.
We went to Dow Dentistry the other day and asked kids if they want to work for the new lacrosse team because lacrosse players are losing teeth. Anyways, we can talk forever.
Right.
High button, Justin, we're out. Thank you very much, everyone listening. Make sure to go to all of our social media outlets: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, iTunes, SoundCloud. Actually, if you could go to our iTunes account and leave a comment, we're trying to get the comment section up. That would be great for us. Other than that, like I said, I love each and every one of you that listen to this. The support has been tremendous these past 6 months. The high button is just beginning, baby. All right, we are out.